Okay, this is my submission for AGDQ 2021. I present to you Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which is the prologue to Phantom Pain. I will be running this on PC for the category of Stealth No Kills, Normal New Game Plus. And the definition of New Game Plus is just having completed the mission beforehand, where I have weapons that are unlockable, available at the start of each run. And we are tasked with completing all 7 missions from beginning to end, while getting 0 combat alerts, 0 kills, and having reflex mode disabled. We're going to start as soon as I hit OK, which is going to be in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so my run estimate is 35 minutes. It is a general safety buffer of things that can possibly go wrong in the run, whether if it's guard RNG, Morpho RNG, and, things that can happen outside of that. So the very first thing we gotta do is start sprinting as soon as the level loads in, and skipping the cutscene as fast as possible, which is meant to skip this spotlight with a tower in it, or with a guard in the tower manning the spotlight. It allows you to squeak through a blind spot, which is very narrow, and the pathing is very specific, and the timing to reach that blind spot is very tight. Next, we're gonna go to pause first rather than going to Chico, which is normally what the game instructs you to do. And the reason for going to pause first is because it's faster to go this way by roughly like a minute to a minute and a half over going to Chico first. And doing this is because the guard patrol pattern at the start is very open here to reach this spot fast, while also favorable for the stealth no kills category. So what we're going to do here is set up a condition where we're just going to clear out these guards so that when I leave with pause, it'll be clear. So normally you go to Chico first to gain intel on where to locate pause that's being held in captivity. So we're going to go right to where she is, and before we open her door, we're going to create a misdirect by firing against that wall, making 3 of these guards look up at it. While at the same time, when they're focused on that guard I just tranked, I'm going to hold up all the rest. And because I held all 3 of them up like that, the game considers this area clear, so I can actually interact with Pause's cell. If any of them were upright, you would be unable to do so. Next, we're going to throw this flare around this wall as another misdirect. The guards will just kind of stare at it in astonishment. So for whatever reason, guards react very weird to flare grenades over other types of grenades you have, which you use that to your advantage to distract them and hold them up. Now that we got Morpho to arrive for our first pickup, we're going to be using this glitch, which is called the weightless glitch, which is possible by reloading your handgun while sprinting through a door that is open. And what this does is it puts you in a glitch state where you run at full speed, despite the fact that you're carrying somebody on your back, and as long as you keep moving without breaking your momentum in the weightless glitch, it allows you to instantly load prisoners into Morpho without seeing the loading animation, which is very important over a standard loading. So we're borrowing this tank and letting it fall into the ocean, which is not only letting us get to Chico's camp faster, as well as not being detected. Next, we're going to clear the way into Chico's camp by tranking these 2 guards, while also using a flare to redirect Morpho, who was just flying overhead. Okay, so the prison camp is clear. We are going to do the weightless glitch a second time, now with Chico. So we're going to reload our handgun, sprint through the door as it opens. Alright, so the pathway is clear. Morpho is waiting overhead just down this coastline here. So, like I said before, as long as you keep moving and your momentum is not broken, you will see that rather than seeing like a loading animation going into Morpho when you board, you would just see Chico instantly loaded while only seeing Snake climb aboard. And just like that, that is the first mission. So as we fly out of the hot zone here, I'd just like to give shout-outs to Wakiyaku, who is a Japanese speedrunner who actually routed this first mission like this. I started doing rough drafts of this category about 6 to 7 months ago with a, you know, rough time of like 45 minutes total for all 7 missions. One Coolman XOF also got involved once I started running this, and we've been getting this time down ever since, which started from 45 minutes, which is now down to sub 28 minutes. And Wakiyaku comes along and actually found a way to route it consistently, you know, going pause to Chico. We were able to take the routing that he did and refine it a little bit, mostly for optimization purposes. But I just want to give shoutouts to Wakiyaku as well as one Coolman XOF for also contributing optimizations to this entire run. But as you can see, 0 combat alerts and 0 kills. And the reason for why you might think, well, you just blew up a barrel with a guard next to it, how did that not count as a kill against you? It's a common theme throughout games like this where if you blow up a barrel with a guard standing next to it, the game does not count it as a kill against you in the scorecard. And if that's hard to believe, then this next mission is really going to make your head spin, where we are now starting what is the first of several set of side ops, which are side missions, not really canon to the story, but they are part of this game, and we're going to run through all 7, which was including the main mission I just finished. So we're tasked with assassinating 2 guards, Gloss and Palitz, but instead we're going to do this in a different manner than you would expect. So we're going to grab this sniper rifle, which is only made available to you on New Game Plus,
the eye and the finger.
For completing the game with a grade rating of A or higher. So what we're going to do is sprint alongside her, which is meant to avoid this guard that's patrolling underneath. We're going to go right up to the spot while throwing this smoke on the ground, which is going to shroud me in cover as I make this first shot on our first target in the arm, while also making a second shot to the other target in the shoulder. And what we're going to do is throw this smoke to act as cover. Okay, I'm actually surprised that worked, but what we're meant to do there is use that smoke and fire off a round just to stagger our guards so that we can trigger this checkpoint. And you may notice the game says, guess what? You just eliminated Blaz and Galitz. Well, you might be thinking, well, how in the world did that just happen? And did you just violate your own rule for the category, which is 0 kills? Well, here's the thing about what just happened. And let the scorecard explain it first.
Mission complete. I'm stunned, boss. I'm glad we're on.
I mean, I'm stunned too, but you might be wondering, well, wait a minute. I just saw you shoot both those targets in the shoulder. I mean, how did that not count as a kill? Well, what happened is I actually injured both targets by hitting them in the limb, which in this case is either in the elbow up to the shoulder. And what this does is it puts them in a down but not out state where they are bleeding out, and eventually over time they will bleed out and then thus count as a kill. But if you shoot both targets and then run back the way you came, you'll trigger a checkpoint, which by using that checkpoint, you're actually spawning both of those guards out where they just bled out on their own. They get eliminated, so it's a mission complete, but doesn't count as a kill. I told you it's gonna make your head spin. But now we're starting the first and only auto-scroller of the run, which is meant for saving a special guest who decided to join for today's recording. I won't say who that is, so I'll leave that for suspense later. So our main weapon of choice is the Uragan pistol, which is a 5-round revolver-type pistol shooting rubber rounds. So Morpho's speed here is tight, not just because of being an auto-scroller, but it is varied on guards that are on your screen, so you want to take out the guards as fast as possible to have Morpho's speed up.
11 o'clock. That is signal.
So we're just going to start shooting these guys off in the distance ahead of time. which is easier said than done.
Contact, get ahead! Keep them off the chopper.
Alright, so we're just gonna take him out as Morpho makes his approach. Now, you do have that barrel as an option, but sometimes it's faster just to stun them with the pistol if the opportunity presents itself. Alright, so again, just taking out these guards. Okay, so not the greatest, but it's decent enough for now. Alright, so there's our VIP special guest. So we gotta clear the area for him by just taking out all three, including the fourth guard, which was the one on the hilltop I just shot at the start.
Clear! All hostiles down!
So we're gonna shoot to take out these two guards that come in, as well as using this barrel to take out this Jeep, which as it breaks, I'm just gonna fire it off at the barrel. And just like that, guard is dead, but doesn't count against me.
I'm good to drive, just cover me.
Alright, so we gotta escort our VIP guest out of here, so we're just gonna be starting like the next segment of this mission. So we're gonna be jamming to some Zone of Enders tunes just for fun. You know, as if that was not another Easter egg among other Easter eggs in this game. So again, we're just taking out these guards as soon as we can, because for every guard you take out early, the faster you get through this mission. As in, you know, Morpho speeds up a little bit for every time you take out a guard. Alright, so you take out the driver, and then we're going to take out this guard and this tower here, if we can. Alright, there we go. So, it's just more like preemptive setup work, so less guards you have to take out. Because some of these maneuvers that we do are scripted, where there's nothing you can do to speed it up, but you can make it easier as you advance.
Like a pro. I'd expect nothing less.
Alright, so again, we're just gonna further cover our guest as he makes his way out of the base. Take out all the guards we can. And once again, using this barrel, take out those two while shooting the driver. Okay, so we're just gonna help give him some cover fire here.
Take out that anti-air emplacement now.
Yeah, so it's very important that you take out this guy in this turret ahead of time, because if you don't, it's not like the A turret is a big danger to, you know, taking out Morpho, but rather the guard that is placed in it will move in a place of cover if you do not neutralize them before you reach this LZ. Alright, so again, just gonna take these guys out as fast as we can, and this pistol has some really decent range, more than you would expect. Alright, so our VIP guys just crashed into a wall, so now we gotta rescue them. So we gotta clear the LZ before Morpho takes a landing approach here, so we're just gonna take out these guards as we see them.
Don't let him get close. Use your scope to target enemies from the
Okay, so we're gonna use the barrel. Blow up the second barrel while shooting this Jeep.
Eyes right! Big foreign in the control tower! Clear! Touching down!
And then as we make our way down, just clear out the rest of these guards. And trust me, shooting with this weapon is really tricky. We're gonna take out the guard in the spotlight tower, or try to at least. Alright, so we're just gonna hop out. So we're gonna go pick up this rocket launcher, which is part of a trigger for this tank to spawn in. While at the same time, we're gonna use this rocket launcher to take it out. So we're gonna throw all 4 of our hand grenades while making sure to keep away from guards that are possibly nearby. And then as soon as the 3rd grenade blows up, we're just going to use the rocket launcher as the last hit, and before the tank could do anything, we just blew it up rather quickly. So we're now gonna get our VIP guests out, the area is clear, and then begin the final half of this mission with our guest in tow.
Outbound, contact! Exfil via the southeast coast. Take out any pursuers. All up to you, boss.
Okay, so we're just gonna take out these guards as fast as we can. And now the final task is to take out this helicopter, which is intercepting us from trying to escape. So even though it's stealth no kills, what we can do is aim at the tail rotor of this helicopter, which is far enough away that when the rocket explodes, it's not going to be close enough to kill the guard that is in the middle. And next, what we're going to do is let this guy blow up the antenna tower, which, once this happens, we're going to fire the tail rotor one final time. And believe me when I say this, but the crew of that helicopter, including a guy that was on the side of it, I mean, trust me, he is fine. You know, he's just unconscious. He's not dead. Doesn't count as a kill. But the reason for blowing up the helicopter at that time is it gives you the fastest possible exit pattern for you and Morpho to escape without having to slow down. So, overall, that went fairly well. There were some slow spots, but this guest that had to be saved was somebody that needed to be saved. And there's just something about them that has a very familiar resemblance.
We're leaving hot zone. Returning to base.
Like, I don't know if it was in their voice, you know, the way they moved. I feel like I've seen this guy before.
Snake.
You've got to be kidding me.
That was perfect.
Hideo Kojima himself has made an appearance in this run. You know, which is a, you know, just another famous thing where Hideo just, you know, puts himself in the game in some form, whether it be in games like Metal Gear Solid 1 with the Hideo blackout screen when fighting Psycho Mantis. In Peace Walker, we can actually recruit him as a member of Mother Base. And of course, this game, it just guest stars himself. But yo, D-Limes, thank you for the raid, dude. And Young Snow, also thank you for the host. Just in the middle of getting this recording done. It's taken quite a bit, but, you know, just wanted to get that out there quickly. And it's appreciated. Oh yeah, and GG's on getting that big boss, by the way. Okay, so, the next mission, we're tasked with getting an intel tape, which is normally meant to be acquired from a spy that's located further inside, but we're not going to really do that. We're going to get a cassette tape, which is in a guard tower. It is a fake cassette tape. However, the game doesn't really mind as far as which one you get. Either one will allow you to complete the mission. So I threw a flare grenade at the start there, which is meant to give Morpho a head start, and the flare grenades, which I'm using here, is going to make this guy hit the dirt so I can hold him up. By calling him in the middle first, it is the fastest landing zone out of all 4 landing zones, since it's considered a hot zone. And so throwing it at that guard does 2 things. It will allow them to hit the dirt, like I said. It also redirects them up here. Now, I'm getting these smoke switches needed to get into this tower undetected, while at the same time I fired a ricochet round into the wall. which is going to create a mayday from a guard nearby while stopping another. I'm throwing the smoke down below, which is meant to misdirect a third guard, you know, also for safety reasons, for stealth no kills. So Morpho is here, we have the tape, but we're not going to leave using Morpho. Instead, what we're going to use is this Jeep while throwing a smoke inside the Jeep. And what this will do is it will provide me camouflage from a distance where guards will not detect me as long as I'm not too close to them or they don't look directly at me while being close to them.
Continue out of the mission area.
And just like that, we're out of here. I mean, the Jeep could use a tune-up though, but we're out of here.
Retrieval complete. I don't think that could have gone any better.
You know, Kaz, I happen to agree. So one thing I didn't cover is the reason why we throw the flare that early at the start is it is meant to influence what we believe is favorable RNG for the truck that spawns in when you exit. Most times the truck can actually stop and block the checkpoint which you are meant to leave from. So we believe that by timing the flares in such a way, it allows the truck to advance forward enough without stopping to react to Morpho, because the big name of the game with, you know, running this is, you know, reacting to the way the guards react to other things in the game itself. So overall, went fairly well. And now we're on to the next mission, which is tasked with taking out 3 out of the 4 possible AA turrets.
Destroying 3 will allow the
What we're gonna do here is fire off a round to make a guard move a little bit sooner, give him a little bit of a spook. Next, we're gonna use the grenade launcher of this assault rifle, which is again only made available to a New Game Plus. If you get a grade rating of S,
expect nothing less.
or an S grade rating for, you know, for when you beat the mission. So we use this for sniping a barrel as well as using the grenade launcher attachment. So it is a very useful weapon to have for this. So since we blew up the turrets, it spawns this tank
Arriving shortly at LZ.
to show up. And because we know it shows up here every time, we're going to use these C4s when I planted 3 of them, which is the minimum amount required to actually take out the tank. Sometimes you can use 4 as a safety, but 3 is more than enough to do the job. And throwing the flare over to here, like when I call them in the middle, just redirects them to here, because again, the middle landing zone gives it the fast arrival speed. And then by throwing the flare, it just causes him to shift over here for our quick, hasty exit. Man, I gotta tell you, I mean, Snake has got some guts, you know, hanging on the side of Morpho WoW. You know, the guards are just, you know, firing on him. I mean, he's just not intimidated. I mean, you would expect that most times he would just take cover inside and close the door, but he just sits out there like it's just another day on the job. And just like that.
That was incredible, boss. I don't know how you stay so steady whenever.
Well, guys, that's very, very carefully done by, again, using the barrel by the truck, as well as using one of the turrets acting as a barrel, which, again, as long as you keep explosives relatively far enough away from the guards when they directly explode, it will not count as a kill. Now what we're doing is considered extra ops, which Deja Vu and Jamais Vu were exclusively released on different consoles at the start, where Deja Vu was on PlayStation, Jamais Vu was on Xbox, and then later down the road they patched it to where it was universal across all platforms. And this particular mission has a potential incentive for donations where you could select which type of model you can run as, whether it be the Snake model, which you see, Gray Fox, which has faster movement speed and is currently used for world record runs, as well as the MGS1 Solid Snake, since Deja Vu is a nostalgic flashback to Metal Gear Solid 1. So for this run, I'm just gonna go with the Gray Fox skin, since that is the skin we currently run with. The only difference between the normal snake and the MGS1 snake is that it just changes the aesthetics of the level. It'll actually change the guards' outfits to match the Genome Soldiers of Shadow Moses, as well as changing a helicopter decal to resemble one that most people are familiar with. So, first thing we're meant to do is recreate one of 6 possible cutscenes.
I've uploaded some photos to your
Okay, so I'm gonna start that one over. I was meant to pick up a pistol, which Gray Fox was a little too fast for his own good there. You know, I know he was very eager to get going, but gotta be able to do this right. So, again, we're just gonna start sprinting from the start. And the difference between using the Gray Fox skin versus the other two is that Gray Fox is given the same movement speed as Raiden has in Jamibu, which we will get to shortly. So, uncharacteristic to Gray Fox, since he's not using his sword, he's going to be using the Uragan pistol instead, which is meant to create a early Mayday broadcast from the guards nearby, while also knocking them out instantly. So we grabbed the Smokester, which is recreating the chaff in between the 2 spotlights nostalgic cutscene. And next we're going to do is called the Vent Glitch, which is carefully entering the vent, which temporarily puts you out of bounds, and then allowing you to dive to the end loading zone of the vent. It's a weird thing where it's something to do with when you aim and instantly stand up while entering the vent. It's almost like there's no ceiling limit, so it allows you to actually go out of bounds. There's even a vent that allows you to go out of bounds and go underneath the level. Just as a fun fact, but provided that we actually need to exit through that vent to finish the mission, we can't do the under the level out of bounds, but it does use the same method, which is crawling through a vent, standing up in a specific manner, and then, you know, either moving or diving through. So, since there are only 6 available cutscenes you can recreate, you only need to do 1 as a minimum to actually complete the mission to where you can actually leave. So now we come up to the final mission of the run. Raiden is now taking over, and like Gray Fox, he left his sword at home, so he's just going to be using the weapons provided to him. So we're meant to take out these snatchers, who are these, like, I don't know, alien cybernetic like things. Not really sure what they are myself, but they're hidden among real guards, so you got to make sure to actually eliminate the snatchers while not killing the real guards, which is a benefit to this run being stealth no kills. But because I memorized where the snatchers are, I just know where to go and which ones are real, which ones are not. And unfortunately for that guy, he was a real human, but because we're using the barrel, the game doesn't see it as a kill. But we do it to take out 2 of the snatchers that are next to it. Next, we're gonna throw around this corner with a grenade, which is gonna kill that snatcher, while giving me an opportunity to take out this snatcher holding this corner. And the snatcher that or not the snatcher, but the guard that I tranked at the beginning with 1 round was done intentionally so that over time, when I get through that level, they will just pass out on their own, as opposed to spending multiple rounds, or even going for a headshot for the instant knockout.
Just got attacked out of nowhere. No sign of the enemy. Over. Understood.
And then for that last 2, they spawn in once you take out 10 of the 12 snatchers.
The analysis can wait.
And the snatcher is always in the passenger seat of that Jeep, and the driver is always human, so like as a good indicator of know which one is which. Otherwise, you would normally have to use the binoculars to distinguish between the real guard and the fake one. So what we're going to do here is set up for what I call the Snatcher Gauntlet, where there's just going to be waves of Snatchers coming in, preventing me from actually leaving with Morpho. So we grabbed some C4 as well as this rocket launcher, which are both needed. So first thing I'm going to do is fire at this tower as soon as Kaz kind of starts talking. And next we're going to fire at this door opening while blowing up the C4 I had just planted moments before, which is going to take out guards that spawn in. Okay, then we're going to take out these 2.
Eliminate that one first.
Okay, so I did miss one, but I'll take care of that quickly. Quick, easy headshot. So now we're gonna fire 2 hits. Or we're gonna fire 2 rockets into this helicopter. And then
Stop him.
fire at this door once again. And you'll notice that as I'm reloading, I'm equipping the tranquilizer briefly and then back to the rocket launcher. And what this does is it skips the reloading animation of the rocket launcher, so it goes slightly faster than normal. Next, we're going to fire over the top of that building, hit the chopper one last time, and of course,
Kojima Productions.
give a friendly shout out to Kojima Productions while we're here. So, mission accomplished, we can leave, and a job well done.
I gotta pull out.
So, that is the entire run for Ground Zeroes. It would be an absolute pleasure to have this get into AGDQ, but I'll leave that up to your discretion and assessment of how you feel about the game. But I personally love running the game. It's very, very action packed, very competitive, and I look forward to seeing this getting in. And the final time will stop right here in this last score screen.
Great work.
So I finished at 30:44, which is more than enough within the 35-minute estimate that I gave. There's lots of things that can happen with having to use checkpoints on the spot, some bad RNG, but overall, I would love for this game to get in. It has not been shown at a GDQ on the main stage since this game was released in 2014. It has been shown as a bonus stream, but it did not run through the entire game, nor was it under this stealth no kills category. But before I sign off, shoutouts to the MGSR community for supporting me in this endeavor, for putting games like this out there. Also shoutouts to One Coolman XOF. For not only pushing me to get better at this game, but for, getting this category down to underneath 28 minutes. And shoutouts to Wakiaku, who also contributed to routing the first mission, which I mentioned earlier. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing this game get into AGDQ 2021. Thank you, and have a good day.